Well, hello there. Welcome back to our final fabulous segment here on CityLine. With me, I have a woman who is the definition of beauty inside and out. We're talking about Nicole Remington. She is with the Relay for Life of Tacoma, and she is on the event leadership team, and she's a major volunteer. Nicole, welcome to CityLine.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's great to have you. So Relay for Life Tacoma is back.
We're back.
It's been in the virtual world like many, many things have during the pandemic. So tell us when and where this year's event will take place.
So we're back to our home field at Mount Tahoma High School a week from Saturday, the 21st. I keep getting that wrong, the 21st, from 10 to 6. We are doing kind of a limited one as we're gearing back up, but back at Mount Tahoma, and kind of we're coming home.
Yes, you are. And you know how much a relay means to me, and I know what it means to you as well. But for folks who have never been to a relay, how would you describe it?
That is so hard without it sounding almost crazy.
I know.
Years ago, I put it into words. It's kind of a big purple hug is the best way to put it. Relay's kind of known as being the purple event. Survivors wearing the purple shirts, but it's so... Every community does their event differently. Ours, it's very much, it's on a track at a school. It's very family friendly. You know, different music going on, DJs, games for the kids, food to be bought, just money to be raised. But you just come out and really celebrate our survivors.
Yes.
While still trying to raise money so we can make more survivors.
Yeah.
But it's just a big purple hug.
I love that. I think that needs to be like on the back of a t-shirt. Get ready for your purple hug or something. So the question that I always ask people who sit on the couch when they are connected with Relay, because we're all family, why do you relay, and then how did you get involved?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Hard but easy. I relay because in my lifetime I've lost 11 family members to cancer. Again, I call family, if I see you on Christmas, you're family.
Yes.
And I've lost 11 family members to cancer. I refuse to let it be 12.
Cool.
Both of my parents are now survivors as well, and I've been relaying since before they began their cancer journeys. And I continue to relay because I never want to have my daughter tell my future grandkids that someone they know has cancer.
Oh,
That was the
yes.
hardest thing I ever had to do, was tell my kids that my parents had been sick. And I don't want my daughter to ever have to give that news to somebody.
Yeah.
So
I know that this will cause you to shake your head, yes. But cancer is, all of us know somebody who is either fighting cancer and therefore is, by the American Cancer Society's definition, a survivor. The minute you're diagnosed, you are a survivor.
Day one.
And then we have people who unfortunately are no longer fighting that disease, and they have died. So when you think about Relay for Life and the years that you've been relaying, what is currently your favorite part or parts of Relay?
My absolute favorite part of Relay is that survivor lap that you mentioned.
Oh,
Near the beginning of the event. It's a little different with every event. Some people do it a couple hours in to make it easier for the survivors, but lining the survivors up at the track and carrying a banner, and some of these survivors, one lap around a track is all they can do, or they can't at all, or they're getting pushed in a wheelchair.
or carried.
Or carried.
Carried by their father, they're a child.
Yes. But taking that first lap with all of the people cheering them on as they make that first lap and just celebrating that they're still here with us. I'll get choked up just talking about it, but just cheering and clapping and high-fiving everybody, because everybody, like you said, has known somebody who's had cancer, so you've witnessed that journey they've had, and for them to still be here is such a big deal that deserves to be celebrated.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that when I stand on that track and I'm clapping and cheering and crying, I'm also looking for people who I have seen in the prior years, because that may be the only time I ever get to give them that purple hug or ever get to see them. And so I have like a checklist of people I have to see. And if you're not there, I'm going to find out why. So the survivor lap is so important. Let's talk about how we use the funds raised for Relay for Life for these events.
So there's 4 main points that the American Cancer Society uses the money for research. In 2021, over $7 million was just given locally in research grants just here in Washington State.
Wow.
We have some amazing cancer fighters doing research just right here locally. We use it for education. American Cancer Society has been studying for over 50 years, and we have a great website, cancer.org, that's full of wonderful resources that helps other oncologists help guide how cancer treatments can go for our patients. So education. Next would be advocacy, which is something I'm just very, very passionate about, helping legislators at the state and local levels, as well as federal levels, to really push for equitable cancer care for everybody.
Yes.
There's a lot of really exciting stuff happening, and Washington's really on the forefront with it for us. And then lastly, services, helping to coordinate rides and transportation vouchers for people just to be able to get to treatment. Imagine if you knew you needed to get to chemo and you didn't have a ride. You know, that something like a ride down the street is something that's going to prevent you from getting care. The American Cancer Society helps with things like that as well. So.
It does. Which leads me to, let's talk about caregivers, because caring for the caregivers, I first heard that phrase when I was introduced to Relay, 18 years ago, I think. And it's never left me. And there isn't a day in my life that I don't think about caregivers and caring for caregivers. What have you learned in your journey about caring for caregivers?
That the caregiver struggle, it's even, honestly, I think it's probably almost harder than a lot of the cancer survivors' journey. Because they are seeing firsthand somebody that they love. They're putting their own lives on hold to care for somebody else that they love, and they feel very out of control. There's nothing that they can do to make it better.
Right.
Other than love them and get them the water with the ice chips when they need it, or leave them alone. Sometimes they just want left alone. The caregiver, it takes a toll on their heart, and it ages people very fast being a caregiver, and they deserve so much love and respect, because that is the hardest job in the world.
Right. And so within Relay, they celebrate the caregiver. Tell our audience what we can expect during that portion of this year's Relay.
Well, that's not my part of the committee.
Oh, that's okay.
Part
That's
of it's exciting and surprising. But our caregivers and our survivors, I mean, a special little celebration that they have during track time for them. And just really having that special extra lap to celebrate and bring attention to those that sacrifice so much for those that we love. And just honoring them. And there's a special, I believe there's a caregiver shirt that they're doing this year. When they sign up online as a caregiver, they're acknowledged. The American Cancer Society sends that recognition out as well, directly from ACS. So.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorite parts is the Luminaria. And this year, it's a little different because it's not a 24-hour like it always is, because this year we're getting our feet wet again.
Exactly.
So will there be a Luminaria this year?
There will be a Luminaria ceremony, and then it's my understanding that the slideshow that accompanies the Luminaria that everyone looks forward to will also be available online after the fact as well, so everyone can see their family members that they submitted to the slideshow. But a little challenge is trying to figure out how to get this done in this new time.
Yes.
But the team is coming up with something pretty special.
I love that.
Yeah, you'll have to come out and see.
Absolutely. It goes without saying that the pandemic has challenged us to be creative in ways that we fundraise. And the American Cancer Society, the majority of the money that they raise are from people like you who started out in a team in Bonnie Lake, is that correct? And now you are over here on a Tacoma Relay team. How is that different? Because is the Tacoma Relay bigger than what Bonnie Lake was?
Tacoma is definitely bigger. Being it's the original relay, and it holds this high standard that the smaller communities strive for. But because of the pandemic and trying to focus resources a little bit better, some of the smaller communities are getting kind of reabsorbed into the bigger one.
Yes.
And let's make the big original, the granddaddy of them, let's make it, a super great event. It's a little bit different. It's kind of hard to get full event excitement on some of the different smaller events because people from University Place aren't going to come to Bonnie Lake to buy a cookie for an extra 50 cents.
Yeah.
So trying to find ways to make fundraising work across the whole region has been fun. It's been a really personal challenge for me this year. That's kind of been my focus.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Last question before we have to say goodbye, and that's, who do you need to thank?
Wow. Well, first of all, I need to definitely thank my husband. He puts up with a lot. And
He gets a lot.
He gets a lot, but he puts up with a lot. Definitely my family, and just really the Tacoma committee for being so welcoming, and Dr. Gordy Klatt, Mama Pat Flynn for starting this amazing thing that so many millions of people have gotten to jump on board and be a part of.
Absolutely. And I want to say thank you to you for always showing up in your most vulnerable but yet your strongest state and sharing with us what your experience has been, and it helps us cope with those who are having that same experience in our lives. So thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you.
All right.
Hope to see you on the track.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up another great segment of CityLine. It's always a pleasure and privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about, so go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and above all, pay it forward. When you come back, we'll be waiting for you right here at CityLine. Take care.